So today I am going to take the 512 types test that's developed by John Ook and Binyamin Zadok. And I think there might be a third person that was involved in it as well. And I'm totally blanking out on the name, so I apologize if I'm missing anybody. So this test will get your type down to 512. Now there is one caveat, and that is there is a fee for this test. It's not a whole lot of money. It's $15 if you want the full 512 type. If you just want your type to the level of 32 where it gives you your savior functions, that is free of charge. I've done this test a couple times before already, but I'm going to kind of just walk you through the test, what it looks like, and what the results look like. I took it before when it was free of charge, but I think they were still kind of working out the bugs and still compiling data. And now that they've got it more refined, I want to go back to it again, and I want to see if it will land on my type. And I am going to pay the $15 to see what I get. Okay, so let's get started here. And I will copy this URL for the test into the video description so that you have the link to it and you can take it as well. Okay. All right. Instructions. Answer each question according to your natural self and how you were as a child. Also think how parents, friends, exes would answer for you. If you are hungry, sad, tired, or otherwise not in a normal mood, it is better to stop now and take this test later. Now, I have to admit, I don't really have anybody I can really go to take this for me. Well, I have my friends in the OPS community, but I'm not sure they'd want to pay the $15 on my behalf. And I don't really have parents that could really answer it for me because they're just not into this stuff. So, yes, this is going to be my own self reporting. This is a challenge of all the tests we see out there. Be completely honest. There are no good, bad, right, and wrong answers. Okay, pretty obvious. All right, here goes. Number one, I can consider myself an expert if I have approval from, compared to an average person my age. Okay, now this is already confusing because it said in the instructions, answer as if you were a child. But now it's saying compared to an average person my age. Well, I'm not a child anymore. So which one is it? uh, well, I guess then, I guess I'll just answer it as if I am now, but okay. Consider myself an expert if I have approval from myself on this end or expert credential vote. I have to admit, it's this one. I don't like to admit that, but that's the truth. To free something that is stuck, I am more naturally inclined to use force to save time or be gentle to not damage. Now, this is one where this has kind of changed a bit over time. As a child, I was very much on this end. And now that I've gotten older and have had bad experiences with breaking things, I'm a little more in the middle, but I still get kind of impatient with things sometimes, and sometimes I still use too much force. So maybe a little more over here. 3, when walking a long distance, I rest at the end or take breaks as I go. Probably more inclined to rest at the end. I don't really rest unless I'm really tired. When it comes to ideas, I am better than most to follow up and execute or create more ideas. I think I'm more of an executor. I wish I was that person that had all these great, wonderful ideas. But yeah, I think I'm more this. I notice more my feelings, other people's feelings. If I'm going to be honest, my own feelings. Um, I mean, I am aware of other people's feelings, but sometimes I can only guess what they feel, um, but I know what I feel. It's better to test new ways of growing as a person based on correct theory or testable techniques. Um, Testable techniques, I think. When it comes to jobs, I tend to be stable and steady, change every year or two. Um, be stable and steady for the most part. I don't Job searching is such a pain in the ass that I'm not inclined to do it unless I really hated my job. People would say I plan and prepare a lot, figure it out as I go. Now, actually, this one's a little harder. Even though I'm a lead OI, you would think I would want to do this one, but I also have savior play. So sometimes I will figure things out as I go. I mean, to some degree, I obviously will plan and prepare some to avoid chaos. So I think I think I'm kind of in the middle. Maybe right here, slightly on the plan side, but not that far over. I am more early bird or night owl. More of a night owl, but not in the extreme. Overall, others would describe me as more logical or emotional. Um, Logical, I think, for the most part. In conversations, going from topic to topic without finishing earlier thoughts is fine, bothers me. Um, it bothers me for the most part. I mean, it's okay to change topics as long as you go back to what you were originally talking about in the first place. I don't mind a few tangents here and there, but I will notice if you never get back to the main point. I don't like to have things unfinished. Checkpoint. 1/3 done. It can be helpful to think about how would others answer for you, what comes instinctually for you. Okay, let's keep going. Pull out your phone, turn on the stopwatch, then immediately, without seeing how long a second is, close your eyes and try to guess when it has been 30 seconds, how far off were you? Um, I've done this before, so to speed things up, I'm not gonna do it again, but I got 4 seconds when I did it. I naturally like to sleep this many hours per day. Um, 7 probably. I am good at detecting when people are lying or don't mean what they say. Um, I'm not that great at it. I can do it to some degree, but oftentimes I miss things unless it's blatantly obvious. So more on this end. Talking about myself makes me feel uncomfortable. I mean, this really depends on the context. What things about myself am I talking about? Um, I would say I lean more towards the disagree end, but there are some things that I'm not always easy talking about with others. I am good at quickly solving problems in unfamiliar areas of life as they occur in real time. No, I not really. I wish I was. I am highly nurturing and I have a history of taking care of others too much before myself. Um, I think I'm pretty nurturing. I'm not sure about this second half. I mean, yeah, I will put other people's needs ahead of my own sometimes, but not to the degree where I completely forget to take care of myself. I think, having sleep third, I will eventually know when I got to put on the brakes. So I'll say a 3. I give people personal presents even without special occasions. Um, I I rarely do this. Um, Although I have done a few times, mainly my family members and then my nephews. I did give my nephews gifts when I traveled on vacation. I bought him something, but it's not really the norm for me. I have trouble giving people presents because unless I know the person well and know what they might want or like or what they already have, so probably a 2. I am good at predicting who would beat who in an athletic competition. I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to that stuff, but I think if I had the knowledge, you know, I could, like looking up their statistics or just like this person looks stronger than that person. I mean, I suppose it's measuring SC. I don't know. A joke that many people find funny is proof that the joke is funny. Interesting question. It kind of depends on how you're defining funny. There's funny to me personally, and then there's just funny in a more general objective sense. Like there's things that a lot of people find funny that I probably don't find funny myself. Um so I guess I tend to look at it as is it going to be funny to me just because other people find it funny? Um say this. I need to have everything figured out before starting. I need to fully understand something before teaching it. Well, I feel like this is two separate questions. The first part, not everything, but I do need to have some of the things figured out, to avoid chaos. Um, but the second part, I feel like I'm answering this contrary to type because they always say blast, you can just teach and you're bullshit and you don't know everything. And I feel like I really need to understand something before I'm going to teach it to others because I don't want to be exposed for my ignorance. I don't want to look stupid. Um, so I mean overall I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I'll go with 4. I don't like bothering strangers for help or information, like directions if I can figure it out myself. Okay, this is another one where I feel like it depends a lot on the context, and I think it's kind of changed for me over time. I used to be notorious for just asking people help, things I could have easily looked up myself, and I was just too lazy to do it. And now I'm kind of a little more, you know, I I don't do that as much, and I don't want people to think I'm dumb or ignorant, but I'm also kind of impatient. And sometimes I'm just lazy and impatient, and I don't want to look it up myself. It's quicker to ask somebody. Um, and sometimes it's just the quickest thing to do. So, I mean, my natural tendency is probably to just ask for help. So I'll go with 3. I will only set a goal if it's something I know I will succeed or not fail at. Um, the thing is, you never know for sure if you're going to succeed or not. You- That's never something anyone is certain about. I mean, you can look at probabilities, I guess. Well, it's probable I succeed. So I guess more no than yes. I mean, I'm not going to set a goal if it's something that has a high likelihood of failure. But so I don't know. I notice as soon as I start getting sick or injured and then take care of myself right away to not get any worse. Um, for the most part, yes, but sometimes there will be times where I'll push things a little bit. Like I'll have a headache, but I'll continue to work anyway, just because I have things I want to get done. But then if the headache gets bad enough, then it's like, okay, I got to stop working and I got to lay down. Um, so I agree, but not all the way. I have a strong social laugh. I laugh easily and without effort when other people laugh or when it's appropriate to. I do have a strong social laugh. I mean, I guess I kind of tend to laugh when other people are laughing, but maybe that's just because I tend to find the same things funny as the people around me. And usually I laugh when it's appropriate to laugh. But then on the other hand, there's been a few times where I felt like I had to fake a laugh and it felt kind of awkward to do so. Um, these aren't hard questions. It's hard to know exactly. 4. Later in the day, my body usually wants to take a nap. Um, Not usually. I mean, occasionally it happens, but that's only when I've really been short of sleep the night before. I am good at telling people the hard things they may not want to hear. I can do it, um, but I wouldn't say I'm happy about doing that. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes I do. I think I did that more when I was younger. I was a little more blunt about things, and now I try to be a little more tactful. You still give them the truth, but do it a little nicer. There is an inner speech monologue of my voice in my head, narrating in which I can constantly hear everything I think. Yeah, 100%. All right, 2/3 of the way. Hope you're not too bored yet. It's better to know your genuine self, how you're perceived. Um, ooh, probably myself. I mean, I probably worry too much about the second one though. But then sometimes I don't always want to know how I'm perceived because I may not like what people would have to say. So sometimes I kind of would like to be blissfully unaware of it. Um, but you still should know how you're perceived. I mean, I wouldn't want to totally be blind to that. I guess a 3. I am more concerned about misperceiving reality or making the wrong decision. Um, I know that this is an observer decider question, but I have to admit, I don't really worry about this first one that much. And maybe it's just because, as a sensing type, I mean, I feel like intuitives would be more likely to misperceive reality. Well, but then on the other hand, I'm seeing reality primarily as facts. And then I suppose there's this whole other aspect of reality, like patterns, that I'm not always seeing. But I don't really worry about it that much until after the fact. Um, so I'd have to say making the wrong decision. I mean, I'm not, it's worse to have extreme circumstances, monotonous routine. Definitely this first one. I mean, I don't like monotonous routine always, but I do not do well with extreme circumstances. I kind of like things stable and even keeled. I am more concerned about accomplishing to relax, resting to accomplish. Uh, More this one, I think, most of the time. Although occasionally I do rest and then first and then accomplish. I'm more afraid to be rejected for expression, unseen, not expressing. Mostly this one, I think, rejected for expression. It's worse to be manipulated or too selfish. Um, Probably too selfish. I don't really worry that much about being manipulated. I mean I mean, not until it actually happens sometimes, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I was manipulated." But I do get worked up a lot when people are too selfish, and I don't know, that sounds kind of decidery or at least DE. I'm more afraid of something going wrong, judgment and blame. Okay. Oh, this is a tough one. Um, but I think actually I think I'm still more on I feel like I'm still answering this against my type. I feel like I'm more on a little closer to the decider end of this because sometimes why I fear something going wrong is because people will judge me and blame me for it. You made that mistake and then yeah, I get the judgment. So as much as I hate things going wrong, I don't know, this one feels worse to me, so I'll say 4. It's worse to have a terrible surprise, unavoidable doom. Um, well, both of these are really unpleasant, but I think unavoidable doom is the worst one. Because again, the word unavoidable, there's this sense of you're trapped, there's no way out, there's no solution. I know that sounds very NI demon. So again, I'm probably going against my type here. But with a terrible surprise, at least it's more short-lived. It's like, okay, the terrible surprise, that was bad, but I got over it. Whereas unavoidable doom isn't so much that way. So I think I'm going to go with this one, 5. It's worse to not be seen for who I am or misperceive true reality. Oh, probably not be seen for who I am. I mean, I don't really worry so much about the second one. Again, I feel like I'm answering a lot of these as a decide. I feel like I'm giving the decider answer to a lot of these questions here. We'll see how this turns out. I'm more afraid of change or things staying the same. Um, well, this one really depends on the context because if I'm in a really bad, unpleasant situation, even as an IJ, I would fear that things would never get better. Like like if I was in a really bad relationship and I'd have to be in that relationship forever or in a really bad job, um, that would suck. But then on the other hand, if things are going great and well, of course I'm going to want them to stay the same. Of course I'm going to want to keep that. So I think overall I'm probably a little more on this end. So I'll go with 3. I'm more afraid to not see the big picture or miss an important detail. Miss an important detail all the way. I mean, that's what I'm responsible for. Um, my SI is responsible for that. Um, but even though I have SI at the top, I still worry about missing details. It's interesting because I don't really worry much about not seeing the big picture until after the fact. It's until something happens. Oops, I should have seen that. But it's not really something I worry about beforehand. It's worse to be seen as a weak crybaby or an angry bully. Um, well, I don't want to be seen as either one of these. I probably lean more towards this side here. Um, I'll be honest, I'm kind of a weak crybaby of sometimes, so I'll admit it. But I don't think I would readily admit to being an angry bully. So I'm more concerned about being unable to help others, alone and misunderstood. Um, more this one. I don't worry a whole lot about being unable to help others. Well, at my job I do. because my job is very customer service focused. So of course, so we have to help others, and sometimes I worry that I can't provide them with the information that they need to have. So I'll worry about it then. But but yeah, I'm mostly on this end, I think. All right. What is your birth gender? Female? You know, they should real you know, they should probably give an option though for people that don't want to identify with either gender. I'm just saying, even if we have a birth gender, um, but I can understand why they want to include it for statistical purposes. How old are you? Optional. Um, 36 to 44. Living in which region, cultural background has most shaped you? North America. How do you know your personality type? If you've been typed by Dave and Shan, only say so once ever. Put another answer if you've taken this version of the test before and filled in that option. If you get typed after taking this, better to contact me with your unique ID, blah, 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 blah. Makes the test more accurate. Okay. So I was saying once I took this test before, and the first time I took it, I said I was typed by Dave and Shan. So I guess if I'm understanding this correctly, I shouldn't pick that option again, because it'll mess up your statistics. So I'm just going to make up another option. I'm going to act like I have no idea about my type. Pick a unique ID and save it. You'll need to look this up to save your anonymous test result in a public sheet. Okay. What should I name myself here? I'll just do townsfolk to heroes. Share your email if you'd like to have your unique ID results link sent to you and learn about developments about the test. Usually I say no to this, but because I don't want so much spam in my email. But you know what? I'm gonna type it in because these are good people. I trust them. Do you have anything else you would like to share? Just say retaking, just saying retaking the test to get a full type. Which results would you like? Partial results, type to the nearest 32. Free, full results, 15 to the nearest 512. Includes all 9 coins and 5 cross checks for accuracy. And a 1-hour consultation for $50. I am going to do the full results this time. Okay, so I'm going to hide my screen while I type in my credit card information so nobody can steal from me. So does that make me a single observer? Okay. Go ahead and enter that. Okay, so it's saying my payment was successful. Bookmark this page. It will be more accurate over time. So we'll click on that there. All right. So I have to find my ID, and I'm going to give you a little blaster tip here. Control F. Oh, wait, this is on view only. Well, let me. Control F works to find a keyword in a document. Wonder if it's at the very bottom, because so it just took it. Let's see. I did townsfolk to heroes. Okay. All right. Yep, it is at the bottom. Oh, okay. Well, it was close. MFSIFI SBPC. Oh, that's interesting. And it still got me as an observer, interestingly enough, even though I answered a bunch of questions that I thought were decider questions. Maybe they're just DI. Okay. So here goes. Observer, negative 14%. Okay. So it looks like here, if they're highlighted in blue here, that refers to the top line. If they're in yellow, that refers to the second line. Negative 14%, so slightly more on the observer side. Organizer, negative 19. Self, okay. Looks like I just barely prefer self, negative 8%. I was sure I was going to get DE on this. Sensing, negative 29. Okay, that's good. Ooh, feeling, 15%. When did I answer for feeling? That's interesting, because I thought for the couple of questions that asked TF, I answered in favor of F, or in favor of T, except maybe that laughing one. Energy, dominance, negative 23, okay. Masculine sensitive, negative 34. Feminine tribe, 28. Okay. Oh, this is different. Masculine organizing versus feminine organizing. Oh, okay. So the OI function is masculine. Okay, well, I have masculine SI. Okay, so that checks. Masculine thinking, feminine thinking. Okay, feminine thinking. That checks. Okay. Blast, consume. Okay, so just barely blast, negative 6. Play, sleep, just barely play. SESI, okay, SI 7%. Well, just barely SI, okay. TETI, okay, negative 37 for TE. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I mean, basically, it got me really close. So yeah, so go ahead, take this test. I'd be interested in finding out what you get on the test versus what your Dave and Shan type is, or what your self type is, and write them in the comments below. Talk to you later. Bye bye.